The next time you need a haircut, think of the barbershop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old JCPenney catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama. With one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.
All right, you're watching Gumbo Live with LC Green, and I'm here this morning. at the Eufaula Police Station. Lord Jesus, have mercy. We're sitting here in the conference room, and I want to start over to my far left. I have the Chief of Police here, and then I have Sergeant Bradley and Sergeant Brown here, and we're going to discuss some things that the citizen of Eufaula have indicated that they were interested in, and so I called the chief, and he agreed that him and these two officers would come and talk to me this morning. And one of the things I want to start off by talking about the workshop that y'all, is that the right word? The workshop you got coming up?
Forum. Sure.
And I want first of all, I want to encourage all of us to go. It's going to be at the community center.
Correct. I
want all of us to go, and I'm going to let you tell us more about that. But what this concerns is something that we really don't give much thought to until something happens. But this is going to be about predators. Is that the right word?
Sexual predators.
Sexual predators. And so I'm going. First of all, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, and then I'm going to come back and ask Sergeant Brown to tell us about this. And we're going to cover other things too. We have a school resource officer here, and we've heard all kind of rumors and all kind of stuff about our schools, but you'll be interested to hear what Sergeant Bradley tell us about that. And then the chief gonna also talk to us a little bit about community policing. You know, that's the word now. That's the word now among community and law enforcement, community policing. But they're going to tell. Come on, Chief, reintroduce yourself to my viewers. Tell them.
Okay. Hi. Good morning or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. My name is Ralph Connor, and I'm the police chief here. And I'm reminding Sergeant Brown the Reverend said the microphone's on the camera. But good morning. Glad to be here with you. And Elsie, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'm Sergeant Bradley with Eufaula Police Department.
And you're our school resource officer. That's correct title for you.
That's correct.
All right.
And I'm Sergeant Donald Brown with the Eufaula Police Department. I work in the Criminal Investigation Division. Happy to be here.
All right. Now tell us. We kind of got an idea what the chief is. We kind of got an idea what the school resource officer. Now tell us a little bit about what, when you say you work in the Criminal Investigation Division.
Yes. CID is what we normally call it, Criminal Investigation Division. What we do there, primarily we investigate felony crimes. You know, they got misdemeanor crimes that happen, but we deal with the bigger crimes, the felony crime.
Okay.
And some of those involve, you know, sexual innuendos and stuff like that. But
okay.
We mostly deal with the felony crimes.
So that's why you're dealing with the what you call it?
The sexual predator.
That's felony. That felony.
Well, yes, certain aspects of it can be felony
Okay.
charges.
All right. Now tell us a little bit more about what we're getting ready to do. Tell us. Give us the common everyday definition of a sexual predator.
Well, if you ask me point blank, the layman term would be somebody that would prey on mostly younger people for their own sexual gratification. It could be mature adults that are preying on younger kids.
Let me tell you, the chief and Sergeant Bradley has had a chance to be on Gumbo Live.
Okay.
So what I do sometimes I cut you off because you'll say something that'll trigger something in my head.
Oh, I know you.
And okay, now look, now, we've all grown up to think that a sexual predator is somebody that pull up in a vehicle with some candy and try to entice you to get in that vehicle.
But that's just one way.
That's just one way. So give us some more ways of what a sexual predator might be.
Okay, now what we're doing right now is we have a forum set up for April 30th
Okay.
at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Eufaula Community Center.
Okay.
And what we want to try to do is educate people on the hidden dangers in social media. Now, if you know today, kids today know more about social media than we would ever know. When it comes to these smartphones and tablets and stuff like that, your grandkids can probably tell you more about how to operate these devices better than we can. Because I know I got grandkids, and sometimes I have to ask them how to do something on the computer.
Okay.
Well, one of the problems is there's so many social media sites out there. You got Facebook and Twitter and Kick, and I couldn't even name them all. But the kids today, especially the teens and preteens, they're familiar with all those social sites.
Okay.
And they talk with people throughout these sites all the time, and sometimes you don't know who they're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
We as parents don't know who they're talking to. We don't know really what's going on. I guess I'm guilty just like anybody else that I don't always watch what my kid was doing when he was on the computer.
Let me ask you this. If somebody is on social media, and now you gotta help me with all this, I know all that. Inappropriate talk on sexual media would make you a sexual predator?
Well, depends on exactly the content of the conversation. If you got mature grown people that are enticing younger kids, juveniles, so to speak, for immoral sex acts, yes, that's felonious crime. And that person can be arrested for that.
So it's beyond the candy. It's beyond saying, help me find my little puppy or something like that.
Well, predators today have gotten smarter. They've gone beyond the candy because they know that can be easily, people can see that. If you're at a park and some kid walks up to your kid, offers some candy, the parents are going to jump on that. They're going to be ready to jump on that because they know what could be happening. But when you're doing it on social media, where you're carrying on the conversation, these people are trying to find out where you live, lure you to where they are, stuff like that.
All right, now. When I used to give a class on communication. All right, and what make effective communication is that you got a sender, a receiver, and a message.
Right.
So if I'm communicating with somebody on social media, that means I'm talking to somebody else.
Correct.
Right.
That's right.
And if I'm talking to you, how that make me a sexual predator if you talking back to me?
It depends on the content of your conversation. First of all, there are laws, so many that I probably couldn't name, but there are laws governing what you can and cannot do on social media. If you send me an illicit picture, and I'm a juvenile, then you committed a felony. You can't send me illicit pictures or even ask me to send you some.
Okay, what about this? What about if, and you can tell me if this happened or not, it may not happen.
Okay.
But what about if that juvenile present themselves to me as not being a juvenile?
Well, then,
who responsibility is it then?
well, that happens. Juveniles,
Okay, it does happen.
someone will get on and say, my age is this, and it's actually totally different. Well, that in itself may cover you, but that doesn't mean it won't be checked out. The police won't check it out. Because if we find out that somebody's communicating with a juvenile, yeah, you have that on your side to show that you thought this person was this age. But to the parent, you or the adult have a responsibility to make sure that who you're talking to is of age, not some juvenile that's...
Okay, so you get both sides
Oh, absolutely.
of the conversation.
Absolutely.
If I walk in and catch my underage child talking to somebody inappropriate,
Right.
then you have to see what they said
Well,
to that person also.
I would tell the parent this: look at the content of the conversation, and if you feel uncomfortable about it, the first thing I would do is maybe contact somebody in law enforcement. Talk to my child first, and talk to somebody in law enforcement, and see if some laws have been broken, and let somebody help you with it. You know, we're not professional by any means. I mean, we have some training on these issues. We're not professional by any means. We don't know. We're not professional experts. Use that word.
So when it's over, when we go there on the 30th, and when we leave on the 30th, what is it that you hope that we leave there with?
What we want to do on the 30th, we want to show parents and teens who want to show up too about these different social media sites what they can and cannot do, and what the ramifications are if they do cross the line. We want children, these preteens and teens to understand you're just as, you can be just as much trouble if you send something wrong. If you send something to somebody that you know is wrong. Not just for the adults who are preying on these young kids, but if they're sending something wrong, yeah, of course we're going to deal with that. But we want parents and everybody to know that they have you have a responsibility to watch what your child is doing, and your child has to be responsible for what they're doing.
Okay. So now, are we aiming this at the parents or the whole family? Or are we trying to say I want to reach the parents and make them responsible, or I want the parent and the child to be responsible? What are we saying?
Well, we're not just doing it at the school. Let me change this first. We got something set up through the school where we're gonna have somebody come to the school during an assembly to talk to the kids about social media and the hidden dangers of social media. That evening program is primarily for parents to come and get some general idea about what's going on with these social media sites. Like I said, we got it set up through, and I'm sure Detective Bradley can tell you that we got some set up with the school where they're going to assembly for the school too, where the kids can be informed of what's going on.
So April 30th.
April 30th.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Community center.
Correct.
Very, very, very important.
We want to flood the building if we can.
Very important meeting. We ought to shut everything else down and you follow, and all of us need to go there.
Exactly.
Because now listen to me very carefully. This is a problem that's in Eufaula. This is not something we're trying to prevent. This is something that's already here.
I'm letting you know right now, Eufaula has not been immune to it. It's not immune to what's been going on. It may not be big and like it's in the other city, but we want to stop it before it gets out of control.
Now, we briefly talked about something. We talked about people have to register. You have to register.
Right. We have sex offenders that come to us. We have registration every Friday from 2 to 4.
Here in Eufaula.
Here in Eufaula, right here at the Eufaula Police Department. And we have registered sex offenders. There are sex offenders in the county, in the city, and some of them have to register with us. Some of them register on a quarterly basis. Some of them on a yearly basis.
Now, something else that I think that we ought to tell the parents. I think we ought to tell the parents that the registered offenders are online. Is that the right word?
I mean, yeah, there's different sites you can go.
Go on, Chief, help us with that.
What I'm doing while you're talking, so people see me playing on the computer, I told LC that I would bring the computer in as he was asking questions. We actually do research ourselves so that we can stay informed, but we discussed before this interview started happening about the state of Alabama. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency has an online search that you can do for sexual offenders in your area. And we searched that based on the Eufaula zip code. Within a 10-mile radius, there's 29 registered sexual offenders. The information available from the state will give you that picture's name and photograph. While you were talking, I searched within a 50-mile radius, 699.
Okay, so now, Chief, it would be when we get there on the 30th. Will somebody be there to say what you just said? Will somebody be there to tell us?
Yeah, and I'll be there because one of the largest things we can do to combat this is awareness. The meeting is to make parents and guardians, and you said Eufaula. If you're from Montgomery, if you're from Columbus and want this information, please come down. Like Sergeant Brown said, we'd like to flood the building so that we have to say, hey, we need to reschedule another one of these, and even help other communities.
Now, this what I would love for us to know when we leave there, is that we can go online,
right,
and get the number. And did you say we can get the name and all that stuff? Can we get that online?
Exactly. You can pull up sexual offenders.
Right, but not every sexual predator is a convicted sexual offender. Right.
Now I'm gonna get to that. That's a good point.
These are people that have some kind of conviction.
Okay.
And it doesn't tell you what the crime is, when or where. It could have been something that happened in Nevada in 1980, and they're living here now. Okay. But let's do one thing at a time. You're gonna tell us on the 30th that we can go online and get the number, the name, and everything of the sexual offenders right here in Eufaula.
Yeah, there's a site online.
So we'll know. If I pass by my kid's room and I see that name or picture, I know that they talking to. Now that's a registered sexual offender. We got some that ain't been convicted yet.
Right.
All right. How long do you stay on that sexual register?
Most of them for life.
For life.
It's based on what the court requires, but most of them are for life. And as far as how to do it, you can Google search right now, Alabama Sexual Offender Registry, and just follow your Google leads. And
okay. All right.
You can do that right now, today.
Okay. I'm fit to move on. But before I move on, this is what I want to touch on, because from reading the paper, I left with the impression, and I consider myself a good reader with a good understanding, that you and Sergeant Brown had said that there was 40 predators.
No, I think what we were doing, we were working a particular case where this person may have had 40 different names in his phone.
One person?
One person.
Okay,
And
okay.
which could possibly lead to 40 different cases. That's something we're investigating now.
So you're not investigating 40 sexual predators, right?
No.
Now, this one predator may have had 40 contacts with other people, and we expect some of those contacts are going to be juveniles and will generate criminal offenses, but it's one offender.
I'm gonna go talk about our school, but before I go, I remember Detective Bradley was saying earlier that if it's happening everywhere else, it's probably could happen here in Eufaula also. You wouldn't think about sexual predators when you talk about Eufaula. All right. Now, Sergeant Bradley. First of all three of y'all, I want to thank y'all for y'all time. I want to thank y'all for coming on Gumbo Live. And I always tell my viewing audience that Gumbo Live is going to be entertaining and informative. I'm not sure how much entertainment we're going to get today, but we're going to be informed. Because there's a lot of rumors out there. There's a lot of rumors out there, a lot of things out there. And I believe this. I believe if you don't deal with rumors, they're going to come back and kill you. So Sergeant Bradley, how safe? First of all, tell us how many schools we have, how many resource officers we have, and how safe. How safe are our schools here in Eufaula?
Our school very safe. I mean, we have our problems just like any other school, and as far as the safety, our school is the safest it can be. We hadn't had no major incident. I know you were talking about the incident that happened down in Dothan. We hadn't had an incident like that in Dothan, but we had an incident similar to it, but it involved a toy gun.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was a toy gun? Yeah,
it was a toy gun, and it appeared to look like a real handgun, but it was a toy gun, a BB gun.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there, handled the issue, and it was referred to the juvenile
okay.
court.
Now, a couple of things I want to ask you, and before we finish, I want to talk about a little bit about bullets. But how did you get involved in that toy gun situation? Were you there, and you the one saw it, or students or the
I think a student reported to one of the administrators, and the administrator notified me. I came in immediately, and we met with the kid, got the kid, talked to him, and looked in his book bag, and there was a toy gun.
Now, how many schools are you responsible for? You personally are responsible for?
I'm responsible for the high school, the middle school, the elementary school, and the primary school. So there's 4 schools in our system, and I believe next year they're gonna have a early childhood development school.
Right.
On State Dock Road at the central office. So it'd be 5 schools.
And with one officer?
One officer, but in the near future we planning on having 2 officers.
We'd like to have more than one, but Sergeant Bradley is basically dedicated to the schools. All of our officers have the responsibility of being aware of what's going on in the schools, but Sergeant Bradley, that is his assignment, is schools.
Now, is there a special? You say you need some help. I'm putting words in your mouth now. Okay, but is it state paid for it? Is there X-ray, or this come out of your? How do you pay for your research?
Right now, the school resource officer is funded out of the police department budget. And the schools, Mr. Tyler, the superintendent, has expressed the interest in having another school resource officer. It'd be great if we had multiple resource officers in every school, but like any other town, we're resource driven. Right now we have the personnel that we can handle one officer assigned to that assignment, but we also try and train and equip all the officers to deal with the schools.
When you went to deal with that particular incident, and that tied you up, was somebody on alert or on standby for the other schools, or
I mean,
how did that happen?
I mean, if there's a situation where I can handle it, then there's no need for other officers to be involved. Okay. Majority of stuff that involved at school, I can handle it on my own without having anybody else. But if it's a situation where I do need help, I can always call one of any other officer or anybody in CID or anybody within the police department will come and help me. So, I mean, as far as help, if I need help, I can get that help.
Okay, now let me ask you this. All the principals of the school,
I don't know their policies, their school policy, but for the most part, if an incident like that do occur, they have been good about reporting that type of incident to me. I can't say of too many incidents where we had too much school bullying. We did have an incident to where it, it was a kid situation that pertained to what we have right here, as far as the schools go, where we had some kid from the high school versus a kid in the lower middle school, but it pertained to a social media type thing.
Right. So now, on a bullying situation, if I'm the principal, I call you and I say that Sergeant Brown reported to me that his kid is coming to school and being bullied by the chief's kid. What do we do about that? How we?
Well, we'll bring him in. I mean, we want to handle stuff like that at the lowest level, which is probably the school level before we get involved in that type of situation. So instead of
so you encourage the principal and teacher to handle before you get that.
Yeah, I mean, and they would. You know, you always want to handle things at the lowest level before you get law enforcement. Okay. But if it's an issue to where you may have to bring law enforcement into it, then that's the service we provide of handling that type of situation.
Now, is bullying a arrestable offense? Is that the right word?
We don't call it bullying. We can call it harassment. If a kid is fighting another kid, then and depend on the injury that kid may have. It can range from different types of
what about this? What about if it's just verbal? There's no physical conversation.
If it's verbal, then if let's say they on a cell phone, just texting back and forth, using verbal word, then you got harassment communication.
Okay.
If it just little kids back stuff, but a situation like that, you want to have it at the lowest level, and probably the lowest level of it would be two parents talking to each other and communicating with each other and talking to their kids. And then if kids bring it to the school, then of course the school got to handle it. If it get out of hand to a point where it leads to a fight, then they may call me in to assist in that situation like that.
Okay. I understand the school has a no bullying policy. So
the school has a no bullying policy.
Right. So if it happens, of course the school deals with it with their whatever rules and regulations they have set up.
But now, can a child be arrested for bullying? Now I know you bring a gun to school and all that kind of stuff.
I think in a situation like that, a parent, I would refer that parent to the juvenile office. Okay. And they would go to the juvenile office and they would sign a petition on where they can bring both kids and both parents will come to court and go before the judge. And
so as a resource officer, that's different than being what you call it, who you just referred to, juvenile officer.
Juvenile officer.
So you have the juvenile officer available to you that you can refer these kids to?
I refer that parents to. If the situation, if the situation is, let's say you got 2 kids, you got this one kid bullying this other kid, and this parent wants something done about it. You know, she'll do an incident report, and then I would have her take that incident report and take it to the juvenile office, and whatever protocol that they got down at the juvenile office, it would go from there. Whether it's them sending a subpoena for them to come in court so that the judge and them can sit down and talk about it, or however they may handle it over at the juvenile office.
So before we go, so it's very important now that you as a resource officer have a working relationship with the principals and the teachers at the school.
Exactly.
And there's got to be a trust factor there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's correct.
Now how much time do you actually get to interact with the students at each school? I know that's a broad thing to do with 4 different schools. But are there times where what word do you use while ago? Assembly. There are times that you can stand before the assembly and let these kids know I'm here for you. I'm not here against you.
I interact with them during in the morning time in the cafeteria. You know, I may come and be in the at the high school. I may be in the cafeteria area. At the middle school, I normally walk around the hallways, the gym. You know, whenever they have recess, I may go in there. Sometime in the cafeteria. Elementary school, normally the gym. When I go to the elementary school, I normally go into the gym, and that's when they playing, and I interact and talk with them and speak to them.
I think one of the things too that help is that, you know, on your off time you're at the games and stuff like that. So I noticed that help also. All right, thank you. So our schools in Eufaula, the parents have nothing to be alarmed about, and if their child is coming, and now you correct me if I'm wrong. If the child is coming home to the parent and complaining about something that's going on at the school, then the parent should go first, take it to the principal.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Exactly.
Don't call you first.
Unless it's a criminal matter, yeah. Unless it's a criminal matter, yeah. They need to go to the school with it.
Go to the school and get them the opportunity to deal with it.
To deal with it.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Handle it at Sergeant Brett said the lowest level. It's also the word appropriate level. Not every crime results in an arrest or even police contact. Where we get involved is when a crime, let's say people texting back and forth, nasty talk or threatening talk or bullying. If they can resolve that through parent-teacher conferences or the teachers talking with the kids, that's great. Where we get involved is if it's going beyond just the crime occurring, but starting to become a safety order or a public order problem where it's affecting things. A fight is going to happen, or someone actually is threatening, the threat's credible, where this kid is going to get hurt, or the potential. That's where we get involved on the enforcement end.
But let me ask you this question: If the nasty talking stuff is going on, virtual, through text, whatever, do you refer that to Sergeant Brown, or that doesn't fall under?
Well, we all fall. I'm a part of the criminal investigation division, but I have my own.
He's a specialist.
I have my own specialist that I do, but so I wouldn't. It's something like that. I wouldn't bother Sergeant Brown in handling something like that, because we all got cases that we have to do.
But this is what I really was trying to get at. I was trying to really see if that could fall under over here on the sexual predator.
Well, let me
it has to be a sexual nature to be put.
One of the things that's good about Sergeant Bradley being at the school is that he's literally the filter between the school and the police department. Whereas we don't have to jump and run over there every time something happens, because he's there to sort of filter. He can handle things over there without them having to come to the police department.
Okay.
It's when those things are elevated that he has to contact us, or if he sees it as something of a very, very serious nature, like something illicit or something. If he feel like it was a crime that needs to be investigated, he'll bring it to us.
Okay, all right. Okay, now thank both of you. Chief, the catchword now.
Community policing.
Yes, because so many things is going on, and you can never turn your TV on now And this is what I need to tell my audience this. One thing that I've been assured of when we was talking is that the stuff that we see in Ferguson and even in Baltimore and New York and all them places, that we're better than that and you follow. Is that the right way to say that? We're better than that and you follow. But now we still dealing with human beings though. But but the key word, Chief, is community policing. That's the thing. And under community policing, they say having a relationship with the community and the police department. Tell us as chief. Tell us as chief. Is there an emphasis? Is there an emphasis as chief from this department to have a relationship with all of the citizens of Eufaula?
There is, and community policing is not just community relations. Like people say, I think someone had talked to you the chief just here eating donuts with us. It's not just going out and smiling at people and shaking hands. It's actually how you structure your department, such as having a school resource officer, where some departments may not even have one, having specialists in certain areas, making sure that our personnel structure meets the needs of the community and counters the active threats in the community, such as sexual predators or auto burglars or bullying at schools. How we equip and train. We train for mass incident response. We train to state standards with other departments. So it's a lot wider variety than just getting out and meeting people and making sure that people know who we are. We try to do that where we can on an individual basis, but like I said, there's about one of us for every 1,000 people in the city, 500 some. It's a tremendous ratio. I know you personally, but I've met you through the job.
Sure.
But we're most effective in reaching people when we can go to large events, whether it's the forum coming up, which is, there's a community outreach there, but it's also for the purpose of addressing a threat to the community.
How many officers are going to be at this forum?
I know we're going to have all of CID. We're going to have people from the Marshal Service, from all over.
So everybody that work in the same department, you're going to be there?
Absolutely.
And the reason I ask that question is because that's a good chance for the public to
we'll have extra presence there, but we also encourage community policing is don't be afraid to approach us and say hi, or if you're someone riding down the street and you see them, nothing wrong with waving at us and nothing wrong with us waving at you or stopping and talking. But community policing does involve a partnership between us, the community, other agencies, how we share equipment, how we share training, going to special events, whether it's at a church or a community fair.
Now, is there, and I think I may have asked you this before, and if I did, please forgive me, but when we're talking about Sergeant Bradley, his specialty is school resource officer. Do we have somebody whose specialty is community relations? Is that the right? I may not be using the right terminology.
I guess in the grandest sense, that would be me. Although we also have the people that do the weekly press conferences, which is the releasing of various crime stats and all. That's generally Sergeant Brown or Lieutenant Hubbard. Mm-hmm. And we have people that take up special causes, or Sergeant Bobby Gilbert recently put together the fair that was held in Eufaula. Mm-hmm. But as far as the community policing program, it's generally me. Part of community policing on the national level, they actually talk about officers or departments despecializing, going back to general, so that you don't just have, an officer saying, well, I just work traffic, I don't do that, or I'm just a detective, I don't do that, or I just do schools, I don't do that. Mm-hmm. Sergeant Bradley, as an example, he is in a specialty area with specialty duties, but he's also still a police officer. He's still a police supervisor, and when he's out there doing his school resource thing, if he sees someone that needs help or a call, whether it's a car blocking the street or a house fire or something, if he can respond to that and help there too, we encourage that so that we are doing general things, not just, you know, one person assigned to one job.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, this may sound funny, but the police department, especially all over YouTube, with these balloons, was that legitimate or was that a setup thing?
That was legitimate.
That was legitimate.
That was I'm gonna say,
tell us the story behind
I'm
that.
going to say it's just being in, you know, like everything else, coincidence, right time, right place. A couple of ladies, or well, actually a van driving up the street with its flashers on, going about 15 miles an hour with two huge bouquets or bunches of balloons hanging out the window, moving from the 65 zone, entering the 55 then the 50 zone, creating a little bit of a traffic hazard. Right there, from the perspective of the video, which is on YouTube, or I guess it's on Facebook, shows the vehicle being followed or being pulled over by the police car. Look at the video. Can you tell who or what is driving it? You can't. You can tell it's a van with two large bunches of balloons. So there's a safety hazard, and where it turns into community policing is once we contact the occupants of the vehicle, instead of saying, hey, you can't do that, which obviously they probably can't, but how do we solve the problem? Community policing has different elements. On the federal program level, talks about its elements are partnerships, problem solving is one of them. So what can we do to solve the problem? First, find out what the problem is. Turned out there's two ladies transporting a bunch of balloons, and said, how far are you going? They're going quite a ways. They're going to Quitman County, Georgia, which is probably from that intersection maybe another 10 miles.
So the original stop was because of the balloons or
because of a safety hazard it creates. But the problem was solved not by saying you can't do that or call someone to come help you or whatever. The best thing to do with that situation was we helped them transport the balloons. You know, we said, how far are you going? And never even asked for a driver's license or, you know, ran names for warrants or anything like that. We said, okay, here's a couple of people that need help. We have the asset to provide help right then and there. Let's give them some help. Some of the balloons were loaded into the police car. The other bunch of balloons was loaded into the back of the van. Initially, they couldn't put them in the van because they couldn't get the seat down, and we helped them figure out how to get the seat down. And they said, man, people were at Walmart laughing at us, thinking it was funny. But it was just an opportunity to help someone, and you know, it was a positive community story. That's why I wound up on Facebook. It's just a good story of people helping each other.
I believe the balloon headed to an event.
Yeah, two kids that got a scholarship in
Oh, really?
for basketball.
Yeah, and you know, they were kids in the region. They're Quitman County, Georgia, you know, the next state over on the state line. You know, so it wasn't, well, geez, you're not from Eufaula or you're going to Georgia, so good luck. It's just helping people do the right thing, and how it helped us. We got to meet a couple of people. It was actually kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and great publicity, especially this day and age with so much other stuff on there.
Well, like I said, it was just reporting a positive thing. You know, everyone gets the daily crime stats twice a week. Who was arrested? Talking about sexual predators, cars broken into, whatever. Here's something positive.
Now, the only thing that about this, and I got a friend of mine who's on the radio, and once a week he reads those who was arrested. But now, the only problem I have with that, Chief and officers, that's one-sided. That's one-sided. And I'm not sure who responsibility it is. But now, if you're gonna report that I got arrested, somewhere down the line you gotta say, well, he was found not guilty. I mean, no charge or something like that. If you're gonna release the information, do you have any responsibility beyond that?
What the bi-weekly press is, they have a right to public information. Public information, we report what crime was reported, and who was arrested. We generally don't go into the circumstances of the case because a lot of them are still pending trial. It's really up to the media to, if they report a story, they may want to track it, and depending on the type of story it is, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's public information. Public information as to what happened in the courts would have to come from the courts.
So you have no responsibility beyond just releasing the name. That's where your responsibility stops.
Again, under I guess nationally the Freedom of Information Act, if they want to know what crimes were reported, who was arrested, we're required to release that information, and that's what we do. We try and do it sensitively, not to bomb someone for being arrested, but we're required to release certain information.
Mm-hmm.
But we also try and protect victims, suspects, so that inappropriate information is not released.
Okay, now let's go back to one more thing you said, and I want to come on back. We're going to go back around one more time. You said that every place does not have resource officers, school resource officers. That's not mandatory?
No, it's not mandatory. Most larger departments do, because we have a few more resources. We have the blessing of having the resources to even have one right now. We're hoping that may have a school in their area. Probably don't have someone specifically assigned to that school as a resource officer. They may have an officer that's trained, or the patrol officers that stop by the schools, and I think every department encourages that. But we have the ability to at least full-time assign someone as a specialist.
Now you take lunch with the students?
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes you do?
Depending what they're serving that day.
Unless I'm bringing my own lunch.
Yeah.
But I sometimes I sit down and eat with them.
Now, when I first came to you, Paula, you were a detective, and you enjoyed that.
And he still is.
Okay, that was my question. That was my question. That was my question. Thank you. You still do your detective work along with your school resource work?
I mean, I think we had a case.
Because you enjoyed that. I mean, it was very obvious. It was very obvious when you talked to him that you enjoyed it.
Well, he's still a part of CID.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I still, if there's anything involved with the case, we'll all come together and work along together. So it may be information that someone may bring to me because I'm developing a rapport with someone, you know, and I might pass that information on to them that it may be something that they can use. They can use as far as solving a crime. So we all pretty much use each other to help solve crimes. And
all right, now the fact that you're over, tell me your title again.
Criminal Investigation Division.
Division.
Sorry, yes.
So you still do detective work also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're all just one big happy group.
So the TV of the detective with the coats on and out of uniform and all that's not necessarily detective, huh?
I mean, that's the TV part of it.
Yeah.
We can wear the suits and the coats if you want us to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like wearing a suit every now and then.
Yeah. All right. Now we last week, and I'm gonna give you each one of you a chance to say whatever you want to say. But now last week but this whole month is child abuse awareness month. This whole month is child abuse awareness month. And last week we had a big program down at the farmers market.
Right. And
you were there. Now. Just briefly, is the numbers large, and you follow? I remember I had a chance to spend some time with Detective Bradley. We talked about domestic violence, and we did a whole program on that, and I thank you for that. That was very informative. Now what about child abuse?
Well, I can't say that it doesn't happen in your follow, but we don't see a lot of cases of it.
Okay.
We haven't a lot reported to us. No.
Okay. Now, could we pull that up like we did for sexual predator? Could we pull up? No, can't pull up that.
I'm talking about juveniles. So
Okay.
information for juveniles is just going to be restricted.
Okay.
What about numbers? Child abuse is combated a lot by awareness. Child abuse. A lot of children that get victimized are incapable because of age or fear or whatever of reporting a crime. So we try and get the word out through awareness to other responsible adults, or to help parents that may have anger issues to.
Yeah. But now, Chief, do y'all number wise? Y'all keep a track number wise of the
we track
cases?
We track the major crimes. It's reported on I'm gonna say through the state. You follow, you know, we're talking about child predators, sexual offenders, things like that, robberies, whatever. We're basically at the national average. We're an average city in America. The national average is around 310, 308 crimes per 1,000 people, or per 100,000 people. I think our rating is about 305, 310. So we're right at the national average. Our problem crimes tend to be more theft related than violent crime related. The national crimes track about, I think there's about 8 major crimes.
Wait.
Five of them are violent crimes. We don't have a lot of violent crimes.
Okay.
It's rare that we have any violent crimes, but we do have minor assaults. We do have the potential like any other city, and we're trying to combat it through not only investigations and enforcement, but through the community policing and awareness events.
So you follow falls when you just put the word crime up there, and you follow the city. You follow falls within the range of the.
We're pretty much an average city across America.
Is that right? Oh, that's interesting.
Now there's you know you can again. I'm not a Google owner, but as a search engine, you can Google crime statistics,
right,
and then put in the city name,
and then tell you.
And a lot of them, I think the Wikipedia will city data can call up cities
back
around you. I mean, I'll be glad while we're talking.
We'll go back to my other question.
Okay.
This is my question.
Okay.
Do we track? Do you follow city police department by numbers? Because you know you can't tell me names. You just told me that. Child abuse. Do we track the number of child abuse cases? I know you told us we can't tell us the name, but do you CID, where would that fall under?
We track assaults, whether it's child or adult. Now we can internally separate those, but I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we specifically separate child and adult. Most of our assaults are adult on adult type crimes, but we do track the numbers and types of assaults.
But now, is not child abuse a category by itself?
Well, it's still an assault. Like I said, we could separate it and categorize it, but and truthfully, in the time that I've been here, or in the time that I've been in CID, I don't think I've even investigated the child.
It would fall under the domestic violence laws, and you know we're talking about awareness, and again on Google or whatever. Part of our forum is to make people aware of the law. You can search and know what constitutes domestic violence. A crime in Alabama has elements like a theft. To steal to be guilty of theft, you have to take the property of someone else. There's elements that make that crime, kind of like ingredients in a cake. You put these ingredients and you come up with a certain.
Let me tell you what bothers me. Go ahead.
Now you want to know the best source of information you probably can get that probably from the DHR. They keep track.
I understand that.
They keep track of like sexual abuse cases that involve kids and
just basic child
abuse cases that involve kids or even elderly folks.
Yeah, but
they would have a track.
Sure,
they can give you a better number with that.
But I'm sitting down this morning with the Eufaula Police Department. You understand what I'm saying? And it troubles me to think that you got to catch all. You got to catch all, because I think me personally, the child abuse is one of the greatest crimes you can commit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk in and see we got assaults up here. We got 15 assaults, but nothing to say that out of these 15, 10 of them were child abuse.
Well, if there is a child abuse, if we get a situation of child abuse, we're going to handle it. We can jump on it with all 4 feet, if I can say that. But like I said, it's very rare, and none of them go unnoticed. even if they fall under the scope of assault. If it's child abuse, yeah, we're gonna pull that out and see what's going on.
And that would start with you, right? No,
but not necessarily.
Well, and it was
Yeah.
even an officer on the street,
Yeah.
as far as getting report. It can start anywhere, even in the school. It can start a neighbor calling the officer saying this is going on next door. That might be something y'all need to look into it. It can start with anybody.
If they call and say we don't think the child being fed, then somebody from here is gonna go to investigate.
Okay, all right. So now you're getting where I want to go. There are a set of laws that say this is child abuse.
Well, I mean, if you just report it to the police department, period, we're gonna check it out.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But as far as the crime, child abuse is a type of assault and a type of domestic violence. And yeah, sometimes some of the elements of the crime do separate out the age of the victim versus the age of the perpetrator.
Okay. All right. Look again. You're watching Gumbo live, and I know you have been informed, and I hope you have enjoyed it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start here again to my left with Sergeant Brown, and I'm gonna give you say whatever you want to say, and I hope that you tell us and remind us again about April the 30th, and then we'll go to Sergeant Bradley, and then we end with the chief.
Okay.
Whatever you wanna tell us. Our dime is almost up.
Okay.
So whatever you want to tell us.
What I want to do is just to remind people about this forum that we're having on April 30th at the Eufaula Community Center, and it's sort of to help, not sort of, it is to help parents particularly to understand the hidden dangers in social media, the Facebook, the Kick, the Twitter, the YouTube, all those kind of social media sites that your kids, teens or preteens may be associating themselves with. There are hidden dangers there where people may be communicating with them to lure them into things that they don't know anything about. It doesn't necessarily have to just be sex. It could be something involving where they're spending money that you don't know they're spending, ripping them off, or find out where you live, just to know where you live, and maybe it could become burglarize your house or something. There's some hidden dangers in social media. You have to watch what your kids are doing and who they're talking to. So we want to try to make you aware of what's going on with these social media sites and help you to be more in tune with what your kids are watching when they're doing on social media.
Do you have another one of these?
Absolutely.
If you give me one of these, when I leave, I get to my producer.
Take that.
It's going to be on channel 97.
Okay.
This flyer with this information would be on channel 97.
Okay.
When I leave here today.
Okay.
And so we'll put that on. I
And
guarantee.
we try to encourage as many people as possible to come to the community.
Now who's going to conduct this?
Criminal Investigation Division. You follow police department in general.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We're going to have different people from outside entities to come in and give various presentations and stuff on that.
Any pass out that we can leave with?
I will make sure you get some.
Okay. All right. Now let me ask you this here. Is this going to be the last? This is the one and only?
No. What we're hoping is that it's such a big thing. It's not going to stop at this one thing. We can't solve everything in just this one program. We hope to have other things in the future attached onto this to help keep us in tune with what's going on social media.
As many of us that can, we're going to make it on the 30th.
Please.
But some of us ain't going to be able to make it on the 30th. So you tell us that those of us that cannot make it on the 30th, there'll still be another chance.
There will be other venues.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Sergeant Bradley?
Pretty much, I was just going to add on a little bit. Pretty much what he's saying. You know, we're going to talk about it at the schools. Also, you know, Clayton, Louisville, Fort Gaines, Georgetown. You know, you're welcome to come out to the community center. We want the whole area to come out. We want everybody to come out to be informed about it, be educated about it, so they can be aware of what's going on with their kids, what type of electronic device that they're using. So we want everybody to come out and you know, and get educated on what we've been dealing with and learn a little bit more about what their kids have in their possession.
Y'all said something just a while ago that never crossed my mind about the money, how our kids are spending our money, and giving somebody else our vacation schedule where they can burglarize our house. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very informative. So we need to try to make it there on the 30th. It's going to be very, very informative, and also that get a chance for the community to rub shoulders with our law enforcement agency. Is that the right way to say that?
That's right.
Okay. So we're looking forward to that.
We open our arms to the community, and we just want the community to know that you know, we here for them, and we want them to know that If they need anything, we here to support them. We here for the community.
And we can bring all of our questions with us. Every question we got, we can bring with us. Now, the only thing missing on this flight, you know I'm a preacher.
Okay.
Is refreshments. I always look to see refreshments will be served.
If we said we throw some hot dogs, some hamburgers, barbecue, we probably get the whole.
Oh yeah. You went out about getting folks out there. All right, thank y'all so much. Chief, come on, tell our listeners all what you would like.
Okay, you had asked me about community policing. Community policing, like I said, is a large effort to get people working in partnership. It's not a new program. It's been around since the 80s. Originally designed by the federal government, and I'm going to say recruited a lot of cities through grants, which we don't get the grants anymore. That's pretty much dried up. But community policing is part of it is us reaching out. The other part is when we reach our hand out, please take it and shake it. Or if you don't want to shake it, tell us why. So I shake your hand because maybe we can clear up some rumors. Maybe we can get some information out. A lot of the impact of people in social media is to try and divide people, but a lot of what we're trying to do is show where we've had successes of working together.
Wouldn't this be a good example?
This is a great example.
Of what we're doing on the 3rd, that's a great example of community policing.
Yeah. But like I said, if we reach out, please take our hand and shake it. Or if we don't reach out, when you see us, put your hand out. If we don't take it and shake it, say, hey, what's wrong? People don't like to be stereotyped, and there's a lot of division through the claims of stereotyping and everything. And yes, it does happen in society, and it has historically happened with great negative impact in our country. We don't tolerate it. We don't tolerate officers stereotyping someone or profiling or things like that, but please don't do it to us either.
Yeah.
We're not just police officers. That is one of our tags, so to speak. But the 3 of us here, the 4 of us here, we've got more in common than we've got separate. We're also parents, taxpayers, voters, property owners, shoppers at Walmart. We're all to the same things that you are. But as a specialty occupation, this is our occupation.
Yeah.
But we can only do it effectively if we work together in partnership with the community, which includes the citizens and other agencies.
Let me say this. Because I hear. Make sure I hear you right. What we're saying today is that we if there is not the right relationship, let's start it today.
Exactly.
Let's start it. Let's start it.
Build it based on facts.
Yeah.
You know, I've and you know me, and I've said this is like a canned statement it's become, but I've never asked someone to look at any incident here in Eufaula and take our side. Never. I've said look at the facts, make an honest, factual decision, take the side that's right. If we're on that side, that's great. If we're not, hold us accountable.
You said something that triggered something. There's a fella I talk about all the time trying to get folks to support. You know, they say he don't speak. I said, well, did you speak to him? You know, I always say speaking is a two-way street.
Right.
If you pass by me and you don't say nothing and I don't say nothing, I can't come and tell Sergeant Bradley, man, Brown passed by me and didn't speak.
But
you know when you don't speak, when I say something to you and then you don't speak, then I can tell Sergeant Bradley that you passed by.
Okay, but not just speak. I know you're a preacher.
Yeah.
Preachers speak.
Yeah.
But listen.
Yes.
Listen and seek the truth through understanding. So yeah, definitely speak, but listen.
Listen, yeah.
It requires us to listen too.
That's true. And that's one of the missing elements. One of the missing elements that I tell people all the time is communication. And when there's no communication, it means somebody ain't listening. That's no reason why there's not no communication. Because if everybody listening to everybody, then you got communication. All right. Thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate this.
Thank you,
And well, let's do this on a regular basis. Let's get together and tell our community what we need to tell them. And this flyer is gonna be on channel 97. Y'all watch for this flyer. And I want all of us to be out there on the 30th. We're gonna bring the camera out there. We can put you on TV. You come on out there on the 30th. That's a Thursday night, is that correct?
It's a Thursday night.
That's a Thursday night, and it's at 6 p.m. and it's at the community center, so there'll be plenty of room for everybody. You've been watching Gumbo Live with L.C. Green.
The next time you need a haircut, think of the barber shop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old JCPenney catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama, with one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.